If you think being a motoring journalist is a luxurious and flashy job, then think again. Today I'm out here looking like an absolute drowned cat in order to have a look at the Ora Good Cat, the latest electric car to come to New Zealand out of China. Now, while the Ora brand is new, the company actually isn't. It's been in New Zealand for a long time under the Great Wall Motors brand. So they're here with Great Wall Utes and Haval. The Ora range itself is starting with the Good Cat hatchback, and it's got a really sharp entry price. This little hatchback is $49,990 for the 50 kilowatt hour battery version. You can spend more. $56,990 gets you the 64 kilowatt hour version, and $69,990 gets you the higher performance GT version. So the question is, does this Ora Good Cat live up to the good name? Now, if anyone had not told me the price of this car before jumping in, I would think that this car was a lot more expensive because the interior quality is exceptional. The materials right throughout are just really good. It's just soft touch everywhere, this lovely kind of Alcantara-like fabric on the dash, lovely metallic trims through here. These very funky mini-like toggle switches here for the climate control system. If we run through here, we've got couple of USB-A ports, no USB-C. We've got cup holders down here that are just a bit of a reach down. That's a little bit annoying. We have the drive controller here. It's this lovely knurled knob, and it does have a park button in the middle, which I'm glad about. I've had a few cars lately that don't have park buttons, and it is a bit annoying to me. We have the handbrake here, a wireless charger, a little bit more storage. We've got more storage under here. The upholstery in this particular model, the $49,990 model, is this great synthetic leather with blue stitching in this white car. These seats are really comfortable, even for a big chap like myself. Super impressive. Now, we have these two screens up here. The center one is a touch screen. It's fairly reasonable. You know, there's basic functions on there, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I think there is some work to be done on the software. And for example, if I look here in the cameras, the writing is still in Chinese characters, and some of the functionality is just not quite there. But I'm sure there's some updates coming that will fix that, hopefully before customers take delivery of the car. Another little piece of interesting technology is the driver assistance camera up here. So this looks back at you and can tell whether you're paying attention and remind you if you need to perhaps take a break or put down your phone maybe. And the other interesting thing is it's got a full suite of driver assistance. And with those cameras, it can actually see items around the car like a Tesla does. So you look on the screen, it'll show you where the other cars are in the lanes, it'll pick up cones. It's not quite as accurate as the Tesla one, I've noticed, but it's pretty good for a car in this price range. Now, as we said, this particular car is the 50 kilowatt hour model. It has a range, I think, in the real world of close to 300. We see with the MG ZS and some of the other 50 kilowatt cars, they'll do that, you know, kind of 250-ish, maybe a little bit more. This is a bit lighter, a little more slippery. It's a smaller car, and yeah, 300 I think is going to be a fairly easy job without having to try too hard. Now, charging wise, this car will charge at 11 kilowatt AC, which I think is impressive and means that it can just suck up that bit more when you're shopping at the mall and plugged into the free charging there. DC wise, it's a 80 kilowatt hour kind of max on this car. I expect you'll see that ramp down pretty quickly on the LFP models. I'd expect slightly more from the NMC batteries in the larger capacity range. But still, that's good enough for a car that size. You're not going to be spending a huge amount of time at a charger, considering it's a relatively small battery, and that's a reasonable charging rate. Now, space-wise, in the front, really spacious, really happy with the space up here in the front of the car. It feels like a larger car in the front seat. The second row, the back seat, not so bad. There's reasonable shoulder room, though. I think really it's a 2 adult back seat rather than a 3 adult back seat. Legroom, though, is really good. I am 6 foot tall, and I could sit behind myself in the position this seat is in at the moment. If there's a downside to the interior, it is the boot. It is not the biggest in class. At 228 litres, it's pretty small. Really, you're only going to get a couple of small suitcases in there. So that's one thing you're going to have to deal with if you do grab a Good Cat. Nor is there a frunk either to stow other items. There's not a lot really to say about the Ora Good Cat, certainly in this entry-level model, about the driving. It drives well enough, performance is good. There's 126 kilowatts of power on tap and 250 newton meters, so it gets away quick enough without being hugely fast. The ride is firm but still reasonably comfortable. The steering, nicely weighted but not necessarily responsive and so forth. It's just a good all-round setup. The car's quiet enough, but there is a bit of wind noise which somewhat surprised me considering its slick looking shape. It's going to be as comfortable in the country as it is in the city. It's just an all-round decent little car to drive. Super impressed for the money. It offers great value. So, the Ora Good Cat. Is it a good cat or is it a bad cat? It's a very good cat. And with the exception of that software, which really does need to be fixed before vehicles launch, I think it makes a really good argument for a good value, good to drive little electric car. The only question really is, can it compete with the upcoming MG4, which has confirmed some really sharp pricing and offers more range, more space, and a bit more tech? If not a lot more, we'll see.